Hey guys, it's Paige, and today I'm going to show you how to batch edit in Lightroom. This is going to make your editing so much faster. So basically the concept behind it is that you want to take a batch of images. So so when you do your product photography and you're using your manual settings on your camera and you're taking your images and you're taking them in the same lighting, so you're using all of the same settings, you can batch those images and edit them all at the same time. And this is how it works. So here I have 50 images that I took, and I'm going to look at the first image here. And they were all taken with these same settings. So they were all taken with an ISO 800 with the 50mm lens. My f-stop was 5, and my shutter speed was 1/60th of a second. So all of these images were taken with those same settings, and they were taken on the same day. And so now what I can do, since all of these are very similar, you can see they all look very similar. So what I can do is I can edit this first image, and then I can apply those edits to all of the other images in this batch. And it's going to really speed up my editing. So this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to just do my typical edit. The first thing I like to do is my white balance. Then I'm going to just, fix my exposure and the contrast a little bit. I usually use the clarity a little bit and the vibrance a little bit. And so I'm just doing my typical edits that I would do to fine tune this image and get it the way I want it to look. I'm going to do a little bit of noise reduction here. All right. And so when I'm happy with the image and the way that it looks and I'm happy with my editing, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of the other images. So I'm going to press Command A on my keyboard, or if you have a PC, it would be Control A. So now I have all of these images selected, and I'm going to hit the sync button. I'm going to press check all, and I'm going to synchronize. And now you can see it is applying those settings over these other images down here. So you can see these are all becoming a lot whiter and a lot lighter. Then the final thing that I would need to do is go through and fine tune any of the edits that I made on these other images. So I would go through here, and so let's say on this image you can see I have a little bit too much black clipping. I can fix that and just fine tune these images. So you're gonna do your typical edit on the first image, and then just go through any of the other images. And if there's anything you need to fine tune, maybe one image is a little bit darker, or maybe the white balance looks a little bit off on it. Maybe you want to fix. Maybe you just want to fix the white balance a little bit. Maybe it wasn't quite right. You can go ahead and fine tune the rest of the images, and you can see down here in the film strip, like if they're going to match up with the other images. Then what I would do next is I would do my cropping, and I would do my cropping for Etsy. So I would create a custom ratio, which is 5 by 4.03, and then I can select that, and then I can crop these all for Etsy. Then once I have them all cropped and they're all edited, I can just save them. I can just export them. And so we would just right click on all of these images, and we'd go to export and save the images. Now the settings that I use are, you always want to save as a JPEG. You always want to make sure that your color space is sRGB. Then I sized for Etsy 35 by 35. Now that's not going to make it a square. That's just going to resize the longest edge to 3500 pixels. And then my resolution is 72. And then I just go ahead and export them. So those are the settings that I use. So that's batch editing, and that's how you can edit lots and lots of images in a very little amount of time. Now, if you did need to pull any of these into Photoshop, you can also do that. So for example, on this image, if I wanted to pull it into Photoshop to expand the background, I could do that. So maybe if I was using this as my main listing image, I would pull it into Photoshop or definitely if I wanted to fix this backdrop here. So that's the basics of batch editing. But if you want to make your life even easier, I do have my Picture Perfect preset workflow, which really takes the guesswork out of all of the edits that you need to do. So if you're somebody who doesn't exactly know what all of these sliders mean, or you just don't know what are the best settings, the Picture Perfect workflow will make your life so much easier. So you start by selecting the Picture Perfect base, which is going to give you a good base, and then you choose how bright you want your image to be. So you can, or how dark. If the image is too bright, you can also darken it. So you're going to choose your brighten level. So I'm going to do brighten level 2. Then you are going to zoom in and you're going to reduce your noise, and I'm going to do noise reduction level 2. I'm going to zoom back out, and then I'm going to choose my sharpen level, which is just going to crisp up the edges of everything. So you can see it crisped up the edges of her hair. And that's all you have to do. So there's just a couple steps. So you do the base, brighten or darken, the noise reduction, and then the sharpening. And then you have a well-edited image. And then you do the same thing. You select all the images and you press sync. And then it will sync all of those changes over all of the other images. So you can see it's going through and it's making those changes. So if you're someone who is really not too familiar with Lightroom, the Picture Perfect workflow was basically designed for you to really make your life easier. And it does come with video instructions. So if you're interested in that, you can pick it up in the shop. If you already know how to use Lightroom, I encourage you to start using batch editing because it's really going to make your life so much easier. So thanks for watching. I hope this was a lot of help. Bye.